Welcome to another Gauging Gadgets Garmin Forerunner 945 tutorial video. In this video, we're going to be going through the run settings on the Garmin Forerunner 945. So basically the run settings are just the settings for that particular activity. Each activity on the Forerunner 945 will have individual settings. So if you're looking to change the settings for any of the other activities on your watch, this video will be useful. But this will allow you to change things during your run activities such as the data screens or alerts, different things like that. All right, so to get started with the run settings on your Garmin Forerunner 945, all we need to do is press the start or stop button to open up the activities. And then in here, simply find run, select it, and we don't have to start the activity. We just need to get to this screen right here. Once we're here, hold the up button to open the menu. And then as you can see, we have run settings. So go ahead and select that. The first option is going to be data screens. And in here, we can configure what's on all of these screens here. We can also configure what screens are going to be shown and we'll have access to during our run. So if you want to add a custom screen, all you need to do is go down to the plus symbol right here and select add new. And then we can set up custom data, or we can select from some of the pre-configured ones, such as map or compass, all those things like that, music controls. Those are pretty self-explanatory, so we'll be doing custom data, so I'll select that. In here, we can choose first the layout. So they have one data screen, so you can scroll down and you can see all the different available layouts. They have as many as 6 different data screens, which is pretty cool that you can see so much data during your run. So once you find the layout you like, I'm just going to choose one field just for this example. Go ahead and select it using start or stop. And then we need to choose what will be shown in that field. So they have several different options in here, including Garmin Connect fields. These are going to be different third-party things you've connected your app to. We also have timer fields, distance fields, pace fields, speed fields, heart rate fields, run dynamics, cadence fields, pace pro fields, temperature fields, elevation fields, custom fields, navigation fields, muscle oxygen fields, other fields. So these are going to be things such as like calories, battery percentage, things like that might be useful during your run. Graphical, and these are some of the pre-built gauges that you can see during your run. It's pretty cool. Tons of options in there. So basically you just need to go through here, find the field that you want to add. So I'll just do a quick distance field, and I can just select distance. Once I select the field, that data screen has been configured, and now I just need to configure the order of that new data screen within the other data screens that are available. So as you can see, I'll put it at the top. And now when I view the data screens for run, it'll be the first one that's available. If I go to the bottom, you have HR, and then you have your clock. Now, if you want to remove any of these pre-existing data screens, all you need to do is find the data screen you want to remove, select it, and then at the bottom, you can either reorder it or you can remove it completely. So you can select that. You can also edit the layout of that data screen or edit the data fields on that data screen using this option as well. So that was data screens in the run settings. Next, we have alert. So if I go in here, we can add alerts based on what's going on in our run. So they have tons of options in here. First, these will be what the alert is about. They have custom, we'll go in that later, but they have heart rate. So if you want to make sure you're above a certain threshold or below a certain threshold, you can have run walk. So if you want to run a mile, then walk for 15 minutes and run another mile, you can configure that in here. You also have pace fields that will keep you at a certain pace. Time, so if you want it to alert you after you've been running for 30 minutes, you can do that. Same goes for distance, cadence, calories, elevation, and then proximity to a certain location. Within custom, it's pretty cool. You can have it remind you to drink some water after maybe a certain amount of time or a distance. In addition to drink, they also have eat, turn around, go home, and then custom where you can go through their keyboard and type whatever you want, which is pretty cool. So that's going to be alerts within the run settings. After alerts, we have metronome, and you can turn that on or off. And then you can customize the speed of that and the alert frequency, including sounds. So this will either vibrate or it will do a tone. You can go in here and configure that the way you want it. And it'll preview it. So let's preview that. After metronome, we have map. And this is where you can configure the maps. Now, if you just want it to be the default settings, you can use system settings right here, or if you want to turn that off to have custom map settings for just run, then you can go in here, you can change the orientation, the user location, and then auto zoom, lock on roads. If you're running on roads, that might be useful, but you would want to turn this off if you're doing trail running. Track log, track color, detail, and then marine, which may not be very useful for a run, draw segment, draw contours. So it's just based on your preference. I'm going to leave that to system settings. And then in configure maps, you can choose which type of maps you want to display. If you want to turn off the topography maps or something like that. After maps in the run settings, we have routing. And this is where you can have the map on your watch show popular routes or popular hikes or runs, things like that. You can also set up courses. And at the bottom, you can even have avoidance of unpaved roads or ferries, things like that. So pretty cool. After routing, we have auto lap, and this is pretty standard. You can configure, if you want to have the auto lap turned on, the distance for that, and also turn off the alert for that if you'd like to. In addition to auto lap, we also have auto pause, and this can be useful if maybe you're running and you see a friend or you take a break. It'll pause the activity automatically based on that. You can go into custom and have it pause after 20 minutes or a certain amount of time. After auto pause, you can enable or disable Climb Pro, auto climb. You can configure when self-elevation will be used, and then turn on or off 3D speed, including 3D distance as well. After 3D distance, we have lap key, and this can be something that is based on preference. I like to turn this off because if I hit the back button, it'll automatically do a lap, and that can be a little bit annoying to me. Additionally, you can turn on or off auto scroll, which basically just goes through the different data screens, kind of like a treadmill. So you can turn that on, and then you can even configure the speed of that. After auto scroll, you can turn on or off segments alerts, and then we have GPS. So this is a pretty important one where if I select this, we can configure what type of GPS is used, or you can even turn off GPS. The different options within GPS will either allow you to save battery life if you use Ultra Track, or can improve the accuracy and lower the amount of sync time required for your GPS if you use GPS plus Galileo or GPS plus GLONASS. So you can just go in here, play with it, see which one's better for you if you're having any GPS issues. I'm going to do GLONASS and then go back. After GPS, we have power save timeout. So you can configure if you want it to be a little bit more extended. Then we have background color. So you can choose white or black, whichever is your preference. After background color, we have accent color. And this is again going to be your preference. The accents on the screen for the data screens, things like that. And then finally, you can rename the activity. If you don't want it to be run anymore, you can have it be whatever you want. And then after rename, we have restore defaults. So if you mess something up in your settings, you can always go back here and it'll restore it back to the default. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So just go in here, select yes, and then they will be back to the way they were before you changed anything. All right, so those were the run settings for your Garmin Forerunner 945. If you have any questions about this, leave a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you'd like to see more Garmin Forerunner 945 tutorial videos, check the links in the description. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel, Gauging Gadgets, for more gadget reviews and tech tutorials. Thank you so much for watching.